everyone, we are going to be making a spring art project. It is going to require 2 pieces of paper, markers, water-based markers, okay, various colors. You're going to need a pencil and an eraser. You're going to need scissors and a glue stick, Sharpie, and you can use some crayons as well. You're also going to need a cup of water with a brush. So to start this off, this little spring bunny picture, we're going to use the markers and the crayons first. And we're going to do a background for our bunny on this paper. So we're going to cover this with big, beautiful flowers. And there's really not a strict rule for this. You're going to want to do a combination of crayons and markers. So, and we want it to cover the whole background. So I'm going to start by doing a center of a flower with some crayon. And then maybe, my marker's looking kind of sad. Do that. That. Maybe I'll go over that one with a. Trying to go through my markers. There we go. That's a little brighter. Alright, now maybe I'll do another one here. I'm going to start with a curly Q kind of center. There's really no rules. You just want it to look flowery. I'll do some blue petals. I'm going to fill them in. Okay, I'm going to give it a second row of petals. These are completely made up flowers. They can be as colorful or big or small as you want. Bigger ones are easier. You can fill the page a little bit faster. Okay, let's see. We can do some little lines out this way. This one I can do a little bit of. So I'm alternating the marker and the crayon. I'm not using it all in one spot. Let's see, let's do one like this. This will be my center. Kind of like to do the center in crayon and then do the petals. This one's a little kind of like, maybe it looks like a lily pad or something. Let's see. So again, these flowers are completely out of your imagination, whatever you want to make them look like. Do an outline. And let's see. have that flower. I'm going to try to get like 5 or 6 big ones in here. That marker does not work at all. Kind of like a crazy aster sort of a flower. Take some dark purple for the center. Take some purple for the outside. And I'm just kind of squiggling back and forth. So that's a big flower. Let me see, another one. Let's do a pink center. Do one that looks kind of like a daisy. I got a pink center though. And maybe some daisy petals. I'm going to do the petals in red, and then I'll fill them in with marker. Let's see, do some orange. And I'm not really worried about getting it perfect. These are artistic flowers. They don't need to be colored in perfectly, and you'll find out in just a minute why. Alright, so you want the whole thing to be covered. I would kind of put one more here, but so you guys don't have to watch me draw another flower. I'm going to start by adding, we're going to have stems on all these. Okay, so I like to mix a couple different colors of green. So I have like dark, this one doesn't really work. And then I have a light green. You can add some leaves. Leaves real quick. Alright, so then what you do, I'm going to move my other paper so I don't get it wet. Using your cup of water, we're going to add a little bit of water to our flowers, and they are going to start to, the marker is going to start to blend with the water, kind of give it a really cool watercolor effect. So this is going to make the colors kind of bleed together, which is kind of what we're going for. want this to look like a watercolor. Get all your spots. And then we're going to set this aside to dry, and it'll continue to bleed a little bit more as it dries. You don't want it to completely bleed into a giant puddle. You still want to be able to see the sections of color. So I'm going to put this aside. And then I'm going to wipe my spot off so that I don't get my other paper all wet. Alright, so now we are done with the crayons and the markers. And for this next part, we're just going to use the white paper. And we're going to do a bunny drawing on our paper. And what we're going to do is, I want to leave plenty of room for the ears, so I'm going to do 2 ears. Okay. Then I want to do a shape that kind of goes down a little bit, in a little bit. I'm going to do this much darker in just a second. I'm just going to quickly sketch it. And I want to give him a nose, so it's going to be 1 circle. And I like him to have chubby cheeks. And then his body. Okay, so let me trace over that darker so that you can see. Now, you're going to be doing your pencil. You're going to do yours nice and light because we're going to need to erase all these pencil lines, but I've discovered doing the videos that pencil doesn't show really well. So, going to do all these lines. Okay, for his nose, we're going to do a circle inside of a circle inside of a circle. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of below the ear, we're going to take a line. I'm going to sketch mine in first, and then I will show you. I'm going to do kind of a curved V, sort of like that. Okay, and then we're going to add a line there, and a line there. Now for his eyes, we're going to kind of do an upside down U with a little curve on the bottom. And you want to try to make, that wasn't quite in the right spot, you want to make sure that they are even on his head. Okay, and then we're going to give it a little reflection spot, and you want to make it in the same spot of both eyes. We're going to give him some big eyebrows, lashes, whatever you want to give him. Cuteness. Now we want to add, we're going to add some very light. You need to do these very lightly. I'm going to draw them very dark so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to add some lines, and you want to try to keep them evenly spaced, and on his ears they're slightly curved up, like a little bit of a frowny face, a little frowny smile. So, but notice how I'm trying to keep them sort of evenly. You are doing these very, very lightly because we need to erase all these lines. Now, for his head, we want to do curved lines that follow that shape. For his body, I want to do curved lines that go down slightly And then for his cheeks, I want them to be curved up slightly. Now these are just going to be guidelines. You're not going to see them, so if they're not perfect, it's okay. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to outline our shape. We are not doing the guidelines, just the outside of our bunny. Okay, so I'm just doing, I am going to do this line here, but I'm not going to do the other ones. And then I'm going to give him a little mouth, a nose. I'm going to do his eyes. Okay. Do his little eyelashes. Okay. I'm going to do his body. Alright, so what we want to do now is we're going to add contour lines. So these lines are going to kind of make up our bunny. So I'm going to just start in the middle. You want to kind of pay attention to where you're putting them. You want to follow your contour lines. So I'm doing lots of little lines. This is going to kind of replicate his little fur. Now you want to try to not make these perfectly even and straight. Have a little variation in them so that every line doesn't look like you measured it. Okay, so I'm adding my lines whole way up. Trying to stay within my section. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of his face. Make sure I follow my guidelines. Okay, keep going. Okay, so I did his cheeks and stuff. I want to do around his eyes. I didn't really do guidelines around here, but I just want some fur around his eyes. Alright, now I'm going to do his body. Again, you want to kind of stay in the, make sure you don't go out of your guidelines. You want to try to keep your lines sort of uniform, but slightly irregular, if that makes sense. You don't want them all to be perfect. He's a bunny. His little hair is not perfect. Okay, all the way down to the bottom. Okay, now I need to do his little nose. So what I like to do is go around his little nose in a circle. Like spokes on a wheel. Okay. I'm going to fill in this little spot right here. Give him a triangle nose. Okay. Alright, I'm going to flip this so I can reach his ears a little bit better. You can see it. So again, we're going to keep going with our lines. And we're going to do both ears. Okay, I will do the other ear. Another one. I'm just going to keep going until I get all of his little ears covered. Okay, so once you get that done, now what you're going to do is you're going to take your eraser and you're going to go back in and you're going to erase all your guidelines. Very carefully, don't shred the paper. Okay, so you'll erase all those guidelines so that you don't see them anymore. And I like these white erasers, they don't make marks on the page as much. So I'm erasing most of my pencil lines so I can get off. I made mine pretty dark so you guys could see them, so mine aren't going to go away quite as much. You're going to keep erasing until you get rid of all the pencil lines. Okay. Alright, then we need to cut out our bunny. So you want to cut outside your Sharpie line. Completely. super careful. You want to be on the outside of the Sharpie line. You don't want to cut your Sharpie line off. So I have my bunny. So now normally we would wait until this is completely dry, but I just want to show you. Oops, I flipped it over. I just want to show you. So it's going to look like a super watercolor colorful, and I might even have added a couple extra. You want lots of flowers to fill it. And then we're going to just glue your bunny with a glue stick on top of the colorful background. So I probably would go back in and maybe add a couple more flowers out here so it looks super cool. Alright, so hopefully you guys are having a great spring and you enjoy this craft, and I will see you for the next one. Thank you. Bye.